afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming to YSF 30th talk by Miss Adelina Azman. Aren't you guys excited to listen to her talk? Well, the wait is over. Let's now introduce Adelina Azman. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and very good afternoon to everyone. Thank you for attending to this talk. I'm Adina. I'm going to talk about vaping e-cigarette. So I'm going to talk about the introduction to e-cigarette, its history, e-liquid, the harmful effect on human, and I'm going to discuss about the common question asked about e-cigarette. So basically, what is e-cigarette? Electronic cigarette or e-cigarette is basically a battery-operated product designed to deliver nicotine, flavors, and other chemicals. It turns chemicals, including highly addictive nicotines, into an aerosol that is inhaled by the users. E-cigarette stimulates the feeling of smoking, but without the tobacco combustion. The act of inhaling and exhaling of the vapor produced by an electronic cigarette or similar device is known as vaping. E-cigarette is introduced in the market in 2004, and in 2013, millions of people around the world have tried vaping. The usage of electronic cigarette has greatly surpassed the usage of conventional cigarette nowadays. So, the price range in Brunei. The vape itself, it's range from 60 Brunei dollars to 300 Brunei dollars. It is priced according to the power produced by the vape, because one of the vapors said that the higher the watts of the vape produced, the thicker the vapor feels. They feel the cigarette feelings, and it's relieving them. I don't know why. And e-liquid sellings in Brunei price ranging around $8 to $20. This is it's priced according to the volume. If it's small, only 5 milliliters, it's cost 8 Brunei dollars, and if it's like this big, 50 milliliters, it's $20. So the history of electronic cigarette. Who is the first one to actually invent e-cigarette? In 1963, an Englishman named Herbert A. Gilbert invented the electronic cigarette. But in those days, the things, it's not called e-cigarettes, it's called a smokeless non-tobacco cigarette. And in 2003, a Chinese pharmacist, Hon Ling, they continued the research of Herbert A. Gilbert, and he invented e-cigarette using piezoelectric component. And this is the first electronic cigarette designed with a battery, a heating element, and a cartridge to hold the liquid nicotine. This is Hon Ling with his own designed electronic cigarette. And this is another type of e-cigarette that he designed, branded Ruyan, because Ruyan is the name of the company which Hon Ling is working with. So how does exactly each electronic cigarette works? Here, this in the end of the vape, there is slightly space for lights. It is the indicator lights for which, when this vapors draws in the smokes, the vapors, is to indicate that the vape is turned on. And then this is the battery components, and this is the atomizing device. Further, okay, in the atomizing device, there's the microprocessor. It's to control heater and lights. And in the atomizer also there's sensor and heater. The heater is used to vaporize electronic liquid and nicotine. And there's the cartridge to hold the e-liquid dissolved in propylene glycol. And at the end of the vape, there's a hole for the steam, for them to inhale the steam. So e-liquid, that's the picture of e-liquid. So typical or most of e-liquid contain 4 main ingredients, which are propylene glycol, vegetable glycerin, liquid nicotine, and also flavoring. So in some cases, distilled water in e-liquid are used as a diluent. It's just to dilute the solution in the e-liquid. I'm gonna talk one by one of the main ingredient. So the first one is propylene glycol. It is an organic compound, generally recognized as safe, and it also used in asthma inhaler. And this is the formula of propylene glycol. It is most often used as a solvent, preservation in food and tobacco compound. The function of propylene glycol, mostly in vape, is to provide amount of vapors that hit the throat, so the user can have the feeling of cigarette. It may trigger allergic reaction to sensitive users because propylene glycol causes our mouth to dry or our skin to dry. That's why some people that are sensitive can have allergic reaction. The next main ingredients are vegetable glycerin. It also produces vapor of an e-cigarette. However, it is a thicker liquid than propylene glycol, so therefore it produces more vapor than propylene glycol produced, and it causes gunk to build up in the atomizer. Gunk is something like liquefied liquid in the atomizer, since the atomizer is where heater is placed, where it vaporizes the liquid nicotine into vapors. However, it does not cause any allergic reaction to sensitive users. Only propylene glycol causes allergic reaction. Liquid nicotine. It is an addictive similar to that in the conventional cigarettes, the traditional cigarettes. And it releases adrenaline that makes heart rate faster and increase blood pressure. I will discuss the effect of nicotine, short-term and long-term, later. And lastly, the flavoring. Flavoring, mainly they use these three, which are malic acid, acetylpyrazine, and vanillin. Malic acid is an organic compound made from living organisms. It gives the flavor green apple and grapes their sour and tarty taste. So that is the formula of malic acids. So acetylpyrazine, it occurs naturally in peanuts, corn, and sesame oils. It is a common food flavoring in tobacco and also chocolates. You can have acetylpyrazine in these nuts, and that is the formula of acetylpyrazine. So vanillin. Vanillin is primary components of vanilla bean extract, and it's often used in vanilla and other desserts. Next, I'm moving on to the harmful effect on humans. So in Brunei, vaping has been banned due to the harmful effect, and it's not good for our health. So vapors, it brings damage to the lungs, our immune system, and also respiratory system. The vapors, it causes inflammation in the lungs and also destroy our protein. So, a long-time exposure to these vapors in our lungs, it will decrease our immunity of the body and thus making our antibodies weaker. So, when our antibodies is weak, bacterial and viral infections will occur, which makes the lungs more worse. Sorry. So illiquid contain chemicals that when heated transform into substance that is believed to be a carcinogen, such as acetaldehyde, formaldehyde, and other compounds. Mostly it is an aldehyde under the group of aldehyde. Carcinogen is a substance that causes cancer. It triggers the cancer cell in our body to active. Illiquid also contain the benzaldehyde that might irritate our lung. Nicotine. Nicotine is the main causes that brings harmness in our body, on humans. Nicotine is an addictive substance, and at high dose, it can kill people as it dissolves readily in the bloodstream. It also increases heart pressure and breathing rate due to the release of adrenaline, and this means that our heart has to pump faster to pump the blood, and after a long time, our coronary artery might swell. Nicotine also increases the tendency of blood clotting that may result in blockage of vessels. Long-term effect of nicotine may also cause anxiety and insomnia. Insomnia is difficulty to sleep at night. Effect of vaping. I've asked one of the vapers, this identity of the person cannot be told. I tell him about side effect of vaping, which consists of dry mouth, dry skin, such as that, rash or burning feelings, itchiness, and also puffy or dry eyes. That is puffy eyes and dry eyes. When your eyes are dry, it's become red. So I asked him whether he knows the side effect of vaping. He said he don't know. So I tell that person about this side effect, and he don't know that his eyes always dry because of vaping. So now he stopped vaping. So moving on, common question asked about vaping, about e-cigarette. Does it contain carcinogen? Yes. When the e-liquid is heated, the chemicals there will transform into a carcinogen that will cause cancer, like I said just now. Is it safer than conventional cigarette? When compared to traditional cigarette or conventional cigarette, electronic cigarette, according to research, only 6 out of 20 harmful chemicals that are found in conventional cigarettes are found in electronic cigarettes. So it is harmless than a conventional cigarette. Should electronic cigarette be encouraged? So personally, if that person is smoking conventional cigarette, I will encourage him to smoke electronic cigarette instead of a conventional cigarette. But however, to non-smoker, I suggest you to carry on with life and don't smoke, because it will bring harm to your body. Does e-cigarette help people to quit smoking? So we have to understand the meaning of smoking here. If you smoke conventional cigarettes, it's also known as smoking. But if you smoke electronic cigarettes, it's called vaping. But basically, both of them are actually smoking. So it does not really help people to quit smoking, but it helps people to quit smoking conventional cigarettes, which are harmful than electronic cigarettes. e-cigarette use battery, does it cause any harmful effect? So earlier this year in Malaysia around March, there's news that the vape exploded due to overheating, and his mouth burst. I'll leave to you guys to imagine how that looks like. So I think yes, because it may burst. And the other thing is there's a heater, and that heater is the one that converts the e-liquid into vapors, which transform the chemical in the e-liquid into carcinogen, which are harmful. What harm will the vapor bring if inhaled by a non-vapor? Non-vapor, which means like passive vapor, like if you're smoking conventional cigarettes, the passive smoker will also have the risk due to inhaling the vapor. But if you inhale the vapor produced from electronic cigarettes, you won't have any harm. So far, there is no harm to. Yeah, so far, not yet. So I guess that's all. Thank you for listening. So do you have any question? Okay, yes, Sumasi. What do you want to ask?
Okay, hi Angelina.
Hi, sir.
Okay, just one question. I just wonder why some parents, sometimes they do let their children do vaping.
Okay. Why some parents allow their children to vape? So, personally, I think first that some parents have lack of knowledge about the harmful effect of vaping, so that as people said it is harmless, but they don't know it harmless. They are harmless, but they bring harm too. So I think the parents is lack of exposure to the harmful effect of vaping, therefore they allow their children to vape. So any other questions? Mister, do you have one? No?
I actually for once do not.
Alright, thank you. Okay,
It sounds.
sorry sir.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
I have a science question. Okay. Now, in the ingredients that you showed on the slides, I think there were two compounds that were based on the alcohol hydroxy family.
Yeah.
Right? So,
You know where you're going with this.
so if someone uses is vaping and then they use too much of the e-liquid, do you think it can cause hallucination, for example, drunkenness?
Okay. Dizziness. When I do my research, I don't I don't see that there's any effect of hallucination or dizziness. But maybe they will have some hallucination, perhaps because it's alcohol family.
Okay, so maybe possible.
Oh yeah, there's possible.
If too much of it is used.
Thank you.
Well done on your presentation.
Thank you, sir.
The impression I have when I listen to your presentation is that it sounds as if vaping is a safer alternative to smoking a traditional cigarette. So if I were to get people to come in here and listen to you, they will be rejoicing because vaping, from what I listen, from what I hear, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I want to hear from the others as well, it sounds like a better alternative. Why? Number one, you mentioned something like it's okay for passive smokers, right? Whereas
Yes.
for traditional cigarettes, it will be bad for passive smokers. Now that in itself is, look, if I smoke in front of my family, no harm to my family members. Sounds good, right?
But you do harm on yourself.
Exactly, but not as bad as the traditional cigarette. Something to think about.
Okay, thank you, sir. But please don't smoke. Hi, Sir Brian.
My staff student. Just following on from Dr. Vincent's idea here, talking about what we call passive smoking. How long have e-cigarettes been used? Approximately.
It's introduced in 2004 and has become famous in around 2012.
Okay. So the knowledge about e-cigarettes is still very new.
Yes.
So we don't actually know whether the effects of passive smoking are good or bad, because there's not enough research going
Yes.
into that.
So far, there's no harm to the passive
Yeah,
smoking.
but it's not long enough yet, is it?
Yet, not yet.
No.
Thank you, sir.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay. I just want to ask that if a person vapes and for a certain time, how long does it take for a person to realize these effects are seen? Like how long would it take that the symptoms are there?
So, it's not about how long do you vape, it's how much the amount of nicotine you intake.